Thank you so much for joining us today at Everyday Yoga. My name is Christine, and today we are going to show our hips and our shoulders a little bit of love, maybe strengthen those shoulders, and just take some time out to step away from the day, finding some time on your mat. I like to think of the mat as my domain. This is my area where I get to control everything that happens. So if at any point during this practice, we do any poses or breathing practices that make you feel anxious or that are painful to you, definitely stop and listen to your own body and do what feels best for you. So if that means lying on your back and taking Shavasana, corpse pose, or getting down in child's pose, Balasana, or just coming back to a nice steady breath, take the time to do that. Show yourself a little love and a little compassion. You don't have to just push through the pain or try to override it, but you can actually back away from it and just be gentle with yourself. So today we're going to start in a nice, comfortable seat. That might be cross-legged in Sukhasana, or you might want to sit in Siddhasana with one heel drawn in, and then the second heel kind of stacked in front of and on top of the first leg. And this can allow the knees to be level and balanced and find some balance in the hips. And then we're just going to kind of rock a little forward and a little backward until you find a place where you feel neither too far forward nor too far back, but really centered and tall and balanced in the spine. We're going to lift the shoulders up to the ears and then send them back and all the way down, plugging those shoulder blades down towards the back pockets, tucking the chin, letting the elbows be heavy, letting the heart be lifted. And then maybe, if it feels comfortable for you, closing the eyes or taking a soft gaze. And let's take one hand to the heart and one hand to the belly. And as we inhale, we can notice how the belly expands into our bottom hand. And then the chest rises in our top hand. And as we exhale, we can notice the opposite. First, the chest relaxes down, and then the belly draws in towards the spine. So let's just breathe like that through the nose. Few nice, full, deep breaths, just noticing where you are. Inhaling into the belly, into the chest, exhaling from the chest, exhaling from the belly. Inhale nice and deep, and then up top, and then exhale from the top to the bottom. Let's just keep up that nice rhythm. Tucking the chin, letting the elbows be heavy, reestablishing your nice, long, tall, beautiful spine. And as you breathe, notice the connection of your sit bones to the floor underneath you. Notice how you can press down onto the mat, even as you lift up through the crown of the head, making space in between each vertebra. Softening where you can, letting go of tension in the face, in the jaw, in the shoulders, the legs, the feet. Just keeping up with that nice tall spine and that nice deep breath. Let's find 2 more full breaths here. And then let's go ahead and release the hands back down to the knees. And we'll get a little spinal flexion in here. Inhaling for a seated cow pose, lifting the heart, arching through the back. And exhale, rounding back into your seated cat, drawing the chin to the chest and the belly button towards the spine. Inhale, cow, drawing those elbows down towards the waistline. Exhale, cat, really rounding back through those shoulders. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. And then we'll inhale back to a nice tall spine. Reach the fingertips back behind you and switch the cross of your legs. And if the cross-legged position doesn't serve you, you can always sit on your heels or on a couple of blocks in Hero's Pose. We're going to inhale and lift those arms up into a nice V shape, and then exhale, turning the palms out and letting the fingertips float down towards the earth. Inhale the hands up into your nice V shape, and then exhale to float the fingertips down towards the earth. One more time, inhaling up, and then staying here for the exhale, drawing those shoulders up towards the ears, and then actively drawing them down the back, plugging those arm bones into the shoulder sockets and rotating those pinkies inward toward one another. This is our victorious pose here. We've got the chin tucked, the heart lifted, the spine long, victorious in our full dignity here. One more big inhale here. And then let's exhale to just twist over towards the right, bringing the left hand to the right knee and bringing those right fingertips back behind you. We'll inhale length and exhale to deepen that twist any amount more, maybe just a tiny little bit. Inhale length and either exhale in to deepen that twist or just kind of relax into it. Inhale length, exhale one last time into your twist. Inhale one more time here. Exhale back to center. Inhale the arms back up to victorious pose. And then we'll exhale to twist to the left. Bringing the right hand to the left knee and the left fingertips behind the left hip. We'll inhale length here, tucking the chin, drawing the crown of the head towards the sky, and exhale to twist any amount more. Really keep both sit bones firmly planted on your mat here as we continue to lengthen with each inhale and deepen or soften with each exhale. One more time, inhaling length, and then we'll exhale to come back to center. And then let's go ahead and come into tabletop pose. We're gonna press into the hands and knees evenly, knees underneath the hips. Your back is nice and straight and flat. If I had a full cup of tea and I set it on your back, it would not go anywhere. Really press into the fingers, especially the thumb and the index finger, to take any extra stress out of the wrists here. And we're just going to inhale into cow pose, dropping the belly, lifting the tailbone, drawing the heart forward. And exhale to round back into cat. Inhale, cow pose, lengthening through the heart and lifting that tailbone. Exhale, cat pose. One more time. Pressing into the tops of the feet, maybe bending the elbows just a little bit as you come into cow. And then the next time you inhale, reestablish that nice, strong tabletop position. We're going to inhale and send that right leg out long, level with the back, and rotate the ankle in one direction and then the other. And then let's bend that knee and then rotate the thigh bone in the hip socket in one direction for a few times. And then in the opposite direction, the same number of times. And then we'll inhale, sending that right leg out long again. And as you exhale, cross the right leg over the left and curl the toes under, bringing them down to the floor just outside your right leg. So we've got a nice stretch in that right hip here. You can stay here, keeping your gaze down at the mat in between your hands. Or you can look back over the left shoulder to deepen that stretch in the right hip. Seeing if you can see that right foot back there. Maybe you can, maybe not. Doesn't matter as long as you keep that chin tucked to keep the neck nice and safe, and keep pressing into the thumb and the index finger. Nice and even through the hands. One more full breath here. Expanding through the right side body. And the next time you inhale, we'll take that right leg out long. And then exhale, bringing the right knee all the way through toward the right hand. So the right knee is right by the right thumb, coming into half pigeon pose. And here you might like to use a block underneath the right hip, or perhaps a cushion or a folded up blanket or towel, because we want those hips to be as square to the front of the mat as possible. If that hip doesn't come comfortably down to the floor, feel free to use any kind of support back here so that we can keep our alignment nice and safe. That left leg is right straight back behind you, parallel with the side of the mat. We can inhale here, pressing into the fingertips, finding our Tadasana back with the shoulders down the back and the heart lifted in the tucked chin. You can stay here, or you can begin to fold forward, coming towards the earth, maybe coming to your forearms here in a kind of a Sphinx pigeon pose. Or maybe bringing your hands to prayer position, Anjali Mudra, and taking your forehead right down to the thumbs. If you want to go a little bit deeper, you can extend the arms, bringing the forehead to a block or to the mat, coming into child's here. And you might want to make some adjustments, bringing the flesh of the breasts and the belly to the inside of that right thigh so that there's room for it and you're not just like sticking your knee in your solar plexus. That's no fun. We want it to be as open as possible here so we can really sink into that right hip. So wherever you are here, you want to inhale, letting the back body expand. And as you exhale, notice where else you can soften. Can you relax a little bit more into that right hip? Tuck the chin to keep the neck nice and safe. Breathing here. Expanding with each inhale. And letting go with each exhale. One more full breath here. And then we'll inhale to walk back up to our fingertips. And if you want to get a little bit of a quadricep stretch here, you can bend the left leg bringing the left heel towards the tailbone. Just really sinking into those hips and getting a nice stretch across the front of the left thigh. If you want a little more, you can reach back with the left hand and bring the left hand to the outside or the inside of the left foot and really press into that left hand with the left foot to open up through the left shoulder. At first glance, this might look like, oh no, it's not going to happen for me. But see how close you might come. You might surprise yourself. Maybe not. It's all a process. It's all a practice. No matter where you are, one more inhale here. And if you're holding the left foot, release it. Bring the toes down to the mat. Curl the toes under and press back into that left heel, lifting the left knee from the earth and really getting into the front of the left hip flexor. One more big breath here. And then the next time you inhale, we'll come back to tabletop. And we'll take a couple rounds of cat-cow here just to realign the spine, realign the hips and the neck. Inhaling into your cow pose. Exhaling into your cat pose. Inhaling back to your strong tabletop here. Pressing into the fingers, pressing into the thumb and the index finger here. And the next time you inhale, we'll send that left leg out long. Let's make some circles with that ankle and try to keep the hips square to the floor so the toes are kind of pointed down towards the earth. And then we'll bend the knee and make some circles in one direction and then the other. Just bringing a little lubrication to that hip joint. And then we'll send the left leg out long and cross it back over the right leg. Bringing those toe tips down to the earth, curling the toes under, pressing back into that left heel, but keeping the shoulders nice and square here on the mat. Stay here. If you want to go a little deeper, you can glance back over that right shoulder and look for that left foot back there. And notice what you feel in the left side body. As you inhale, notice the expansion in the ribs. As you exhale, tuck that chin. Reestablish that nice even weight across the shoulders. Inhale, noticing the lengthening in that hip. And exhale to soften. One more full breath here. And then we'll inhale the leg back straight behind us. And exhale to bring the left knee towards the left wrist. Adjusting into pigeon on the second side. Squaring those hips to the front of the mat. And maybe using a block or a cushion underneath the left hip to keep them evened out. And you might notice that this side is different than the right side. In fact, it likely is. So if you used a cushion on the first side, you might not need to the second side or vice versa. So wherever you find yourself, nice and level and even to the front of the mat, we're gonna inhale, pressing into those tented fingertips, lifting the heart, drawing the shoulder blades down the back, tucking the chin, and then exhale here and stay here, or maybe fold forward into Sphinx, or prayer position, or child's pose in the arms. Adjusting the flesh of the torso so that it rests comfortably inside the left thigh. Inhale to notice the expansion of the back body. Exhale to see where you can soften and let go. Breathing here. Notice what you feel in that left hip. maybe the outside of the left thigh. Soften where you can. Allowing gravity to help bring you closer to the earth. One more full breath here. And then we'll inhale to begin walking ourselves back up to tented fingertips here. And then bend that right knee and draw the right heel towards the tailbone. And if you want to go a little bit deeper here, you can plant that left hand and reach back with the right hand to either the outside or the inside of the right foot. And use the leverage of that right hand or right foot pressing into the right hand to really open up through the front of the right shoulder. Breathing here. Noticing where you can soften. And then gently lower the right foot back to the earth. We'll curl the back toes under, lifting that right knee and really pressing through that right heel. One more inhale here, lengthening through the front of the right hip. And then we'll exhale to come back to tabletop. And then we'll inhale for cow. Exhale for cat. Inhale for cow, maybe bending the elbows and curling the toes under. Exhale, cat. One more inhale to cow. And as we exhale into cat, let's round the hips all the way back to the heels, coming into child's pose. Let's go ahead and draw those arms down along the side of the mat, flipping the hands up so they're just outside your feet, keeping the legs parallel. Bringing the forehead or the top of the head to the mat or to a block or a cushion or folded up towel or some kind of support. Inhale here, expanding across the back body. And as you exhale, just let those arms melt down towards the floor, finding softness in the shoulders, space in between the shoulder blades. Your nice little cocoon, like a little pill bug. Just finding space here. One more big inhale. One more exhale. And then we'll inhale to draw the arms out in front of us again. Take the knees as wide as the mat, but keep those big toes together. And then we'll sink the hips back towards the heels and bring that left arm underneath the right bicep so that you can bring the left temple down to the earth, pressing into that left shoulder. Stretching that right arm out nice and long here. Inhale here. And as you exhale, just let the right arm soften down to the mat or maybe cross across your left inner arm. Opening up through the back of the shoulder here. Maybe take the heel of the left hand just underneath the heel of the right hand and push into that heel of the right hand so that you can draw the right shoulder away from the floor. Get a little bit of a deeper twist and a little bit more of an opening in the shoulder. One more big inhale here. Exhale to soften. And then we'll inhale, both arms out straight again. And then exhale to bring the right arm underneath the left, coming down to the right shoulder and the right temple. Stretching that left arm out nice and long as you inhale. And then exhaling to bring the right arm down to the mat or down to the inside of the right arm, bringing the left arm down, if I didn't say left. I know my sides most of the time. Inhaling here, expanding between those shoulder blades. Exhale to let the hips be a little heavier. Inhale, expansion, and exhale, softness. And if it feels good, go ahead and take that left heel of the left hand to the bottom of the right hand and press back, getting a little bit deeper into the twist. Getting a little bit more sensation in that left shoulder. Breathing here. The next time we inhale, we'll come back to center, stretching the arms out long. And then we'll take the forehead to a block or to a mat and bring the palms together in prayer position, and then bring those hands back behind the neck, coming into a shark fin namaste here, and getting a real nice stretch in the triceps and in the armpits and alongside the sides of the body. Really sinking into those armpits here, drawing the heart towards the earth. And then we'll release the hands down to the mat. And as we're here in child's pose, on the mat, which is on the floor, which is on the above the earth here, maybe picture the earth right underneath you, that big, beautiful blue planet, our earth, Mother Earth. Maybe some of us have difficult relationships with our mothers, but the divine earth, this Mother Earth, is our true mother who gives us everything we need: air, water, food, everything we need. And we have this symbiotic relationship with her because in return, we can take care of her, doing our part to take care of this Mother Earth, this planet that nourishes us all. One more full breath here. And then let's go ahead and begin to roll the spine up, drawing the legs parallel, coming into hero's pose, reestablishing that tall spine with the hands on the thighs, drawing those shoulder blades down the back and tucking the chin. Nice big breath here. And then let's go ahead and lift up to high kneeling on the knees. We're going to open up through the front of the hips here a little bit more, coming into camel pose. And we can take the blocks here alongside the feet in either low, medium, or high position. You might need them, you might not. They might come in handy. So just have them nearby. You can have the tops of the feet flat on the floor, or you can curl the toes under so that the heels are a little bit higher. We're going to bring the hands to the hips so that the fingertips are shining forward and the thumbs are pointed towards one another at the small of the back. And we're going to inhale here, keeping the thighs parallel, And take just a gentle back bend in the upper shoulders. Keeping the chin tucked here at first. Getting a nice back bend. Getting a little bit of a stretch in the front of the hips. And as you inhale, next time, just come up to a nice straight spine. We'll do that again. Inhale here, and as you exhale, start to come into your back bend, drawing the shoulder blades together, drawing the elbows towards one another. And then maybe turning the hands so that the fingertips are pointed down towards the thighs. And maybe use the heels of the hand to press gently into the small of the back and bring the head back to shine up towards the sky just a little bit more. One full breath here. And then we'll inhale back to a tall spine, uncurl the toes, and come down to Hero's Pose. Take a breath here. And then we'll inhale back to high kneeling. We can do either a variation of Camel Pose that we just did, or we can come a little deeper. So curl the back toes under. Bring the hands to the hips if you want to stay in that level here, or you can point the fingertips down towards the earth. We'll inhale length here. Keep that chin tucked for now. And we'll exhale into our back bend, drawing the elbows towards one another. And at this point, you can bring the hands down to the backs of the thighs and really open up through the collarbones. Or you can take your hands to your blocks in any position, keeping them alongside the feet and really pressing into those hips, and maybe taking the head all the way back very gently. If this feels good to you and you want to go a little deeper, you can take the hands to the tops of the heels and really round through the back, opening up the front body, squeezing out any tension between the shoulders. One last full breath here. And begin the slow journey, bringing the hands to the thighs, and then the small of the back, and then the hips. And then we'll uncurl the toes and sink back down to Hero's Pose. So Camel Pose, you can do in any variation, any level. You still get the benefits of the back bend, no matter what level you're at, but that can sure feel good, that nice stretch through the front of the body. So let's go ahead and cross the feet and bring the sit bones back behind the feet and send the legs out long, coming into Dandasana. Take those fingertips out to the side for our staff pose, Dandasana in Sanskrit. Find that nice tall spine again. We'll inhale here, bringing the arms up into victorious pose. And then exhale, hinging forward at the hips. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And exhale to bring the fingertips down to the mat or the shins or the ankles. One full breath here. And then we'll zip up that core, drawing the belly button to the spine so that we can inhale with a nice tall spine back to victorious pose, and exhale to release the hands down to the earth. And then let's draw that right foot in, bringing the sole of the right foot to the inside of the left thigh, and let that right knee just kind of fall down, open towards the earth. We'll inhale that nice straight spine here, bringing those fingertips out to the sides and kind of line up the heart with your left knee. Let's inhale into our victorious pose and exhale to hinge forward at the hips. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale as you release the hands down to the earth. And then you can begin to soften through this forward fold. You can either keep lengthening the spine as you inhale and drawing the belly closer to the thigh as you exhale. Or if it feels good, you can go ahead and round the back, bringing the head to the knee. And maybe you reach the hands out for your calf or your ankle or your foot. And just allow the head to be heavy. Notice what you feel in the small of the back and the right hip. Keep that heart rotated towards the left knee. As you inhale, notice the expansion of the back body, and as you exhale, soften where you can. Notice how that feels in your back of your left leg. Notice how that feels in your back body. Notice how that feels in your right hip. One more full breath here. And we'll just inhale to begin to walk our fingers back up alongside the left thigh. And then we'll go ahead and take the right hand behind the right hip. And as we inhale, we'll lift that left arm ahead of us and push up into the left hip, coming to the right shin, pressing into that right knee, making a nice big arch with the left side of the body. Really stretching into that left hip here, thinking of yourself as a graceful ballerina. Inhale, expanding through the left side body. And exhale to sink the hips back towards the earth. Bring the soles of the feet together for butterfly pose, Pada Konasana. Holding on to the ankles or the toes, we'll inhale a gentle cow. Exhale, rounding back into cat. And then we'll inhale back to a tall spine, and then lengthen through that right leg, bringing the sole of the left foot inside the right thigh. Let's find that nice tall spine again here, tenting those fingers alongside the body. Reestablish your nice deep breath. And then we'll inhale the arms up to victorious pose. And exhale to hinge forward, keeping the heart in line with the right knee. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to bring the fingers down to the mat. And then continue to lengthen and draw towards the thigh until you reach a point where you gently just let the back round down and let the head be heavy. You can keep the hands to the mat or to your calf or your ankle or to the foot, wherever they comfortably reach, maybe a little beyond total comfort, getting a bit of a stretch here, noticing where you feel sensation. But again, not pain. We just want to feel a nice, nourishing stretch here. As you continue to breathe, notice what you feel in the back of the right leg, the knee, the hamstring. Notice what you feel in the low back, left hip, maybe the right hip too. Continue to soften as you exhale. One more full breath here. And as we inhale, we'll walk ourselves back up to that tall spine. Exhale, the left hand plants behind the left hip. And then we'll inhale, lifting the right hip, coming to that left knee, drawing the right arm up over the right ear, letting those fingertips drape down overhead, making a beautiful arch with the right side body. See yourself as the graceful being that you are here, Opening up through the heart. One more big breath here. One last inhale. And then we'll exhale to sink the hips back down towards the earth, sending both legs out long. Inhale up into victorious pose, and we'll exhale for one more forward fold, Paschimottanasana. Staying here for 3 breaths and noticing if this is any more deep or comfortable for you than it was the first time we did this. Inhale to expand and lengthen through the back body. And exhale to just let the head be heavy and find some gentle softness. And we'll inhale back up to a nice tall spine. And then we'll go ahead and bend the knees, bring the soles of the feet to the earth. Bring the hands to the backs of the thighs. And then we'll roll slowly down, one vertebrae at a time, bringing the back down to the mat. And then once you've come all the way down to the back, bring one foot and then the other in towards the heart. And maybe rock a little bit from side to side, getting a little bit of a massage on the low back. And maybe really coming over almost on your side, getting a little bit of a massage on the right hip, and then coming over to give yourself a little bit of a massage on the left hip, letting your mat support you and massage you here, maybe making gentle little circles with the hips before you come back to center. And then we'll cross the left ankle over the right knee here and either hold on to the back of the right thigh or the front of the right shin, clasping your fingers. Wherever you are, just make sure the back of the head and the tops of the shoulders are comfortably down towards the earth as you hug that right leg in towards you. Noticing what you feel here in the left hip, the left hamstring, the IT band. And then we'll keep the legs where they are, release the hands, and spread the arms out into a nice Texas T here. Inhale here, and as we exhale, let's let the left sole of the foot come down to the earth, keeping that connection between the left ankle and the right knee, and getting a nice twist here in that left hip. So now you've got that right knee is kind of anchoring the left ankle down to the earth. You can bring that right hand to the left leg and either massage it or invite it a little bit closer to the earth. Or you can just keep your arms out in that nice wide T shape. And just relax into this pose, allowing gravity to do all the work for you. Let's find 3 full breaths here. Softening the skin of the face. Softening the jaw, softening the fingers and the toes. And when you've found those 3 full breaths, release that left leg and stack it right on top of the right so that the knees and the feet and the shins are parallel. And then in the next time you inhale, we'll draw those knees back to center. Give them a little hug. Maybe draw the nose to the knees, reestablishing the alignment in the spine and the hips. And then we'll cross that right ankle over the left knee and interlace the fingers wherever it's comfortable for you, whether it's behind the left thigh or in front of the left shin. Maybe rock a little bit from side to side here. Noticing where you can deepen, noticing where you can soften, noticing where you can relax as you continue to breathe. Keep that chin tucked, keep the neck nice and safe. And then we'll release the hands while keeping the connection of the legs, spreading the arms out wide, keeping the palms shining up towards the sky, or seeing if it feels better in your shoulders to turn the palms down to the earth. Wherever you are, take an inhale here, and then exhale, bringing the sole of the right foot down towards the left side, getting a nice big twist, and using that left knee to anchor the right foot to the earth. You can maybe look out over the right shoulder, getting into the neck a little bit here. Noticing where you can bring some softness. Keeping your nice deep breath. Noticing what you feel in the small of the back, the hip, and the thigh. One more full breath here, and then we'll release that right leg to stack on top of the left, squaring up those knees and ankles. Inhale here, exhale, drawing that belly button to the spine so that you can use the core to inhale the knees back up towards the sky, giving them one final hug here. And then we'll inhale everything out long. And then take a couple breaths here to just stretch out long through the right side body, stretching those right fingertips away from the right toes. And then inhaling long through the left side body, maybe wiggling those fingers and toes. And then let's find our final Shavasana, our final resting pose. Letting the small of the back be anchored down to the mat. Stretching the legs out long, taking the heels as wide as the mat. Opening up the arms to the sky and snuggling those shoulder blades together. Tuck that chin. Let's take a nice big inhale here, and as we exhale, we'll just let it go out the mouth with a sigh. And then come back to breathing through the nose. And just allow the body to be heavy. Notice the connection of your back body to the mat and the earth beneath the mat. Again, coming back to that idea of Mother Earth, supplying everything we need. And how we can take care of her in return. Our relationship to nature and to all beings everywhere. And just come back to your natural breath. Breathing, softening, noticing what's going on in your body. Maybe bringing a little bit of a sense of gratitude for this body. We all have a hang-up about our body in some form or another. I hear even supermodels have their insecurities about how their outer shell looks. But this outer shell holds everything that we need within us. our hearts, our brains, our bones, our blood, all of our organs safely protected, working together in this amazing miracle that we all have, our vehicle on this planet. And then give yourself a little bit of gratitude for taking such good care of your vehicle today. Taking good care of yourself and your environment around you. Living in this symbiotic relationship that we have with all beings everywhere. 2 more full breaths here. Letting yourself melt towards the support of the earth. And the next time we inhale, let's go ahead and stretch the arms and legs out long. Just like we're getting up first thing in the morning, maybe rotate the ankles and the wrists and wiggle the fingers and the toes. And then bring those knees up towards the earth and either roll to one side or the other, or rock and roll your way up the length of the spine, holding onto the knees and getting a little bit more of a massage across the back body. Before we come up to a nice comfortable seat, let's take staff pose here, Dandasana. Sending the legs out long, bringing the toes up towards the sky, taking those fingertips out to the sides to really establish that nice long spine here. And we've got these nice balanced hips here. Let's take a nice big inhale here. And an exhale. And then we'll inhale the arms out to the sides and lift them up towards the sky, bringing the palms together and exhaling, hands to heart. And then let's take a moment here to chant an Om together. And the Om is the divine light within us all. Om recognizes that divine light within each of us. And it also brings a little bit of a vibration to the body, and that deep inner vibration stimulates the vagus nerve. And the vagus nerve runs from the gut to the brain and touches every organ in between. When we can stimulate this vagus nerve, we can stimulate our parasympathetic nervous system, the one that's responsible for healing, resting, digesting, restoring. So on an energetic level and on a physical level, any kind of vibration you can bring to the body is beneficial. So if you'd like to join me, we'll take an inhale to prepare. And together we'll chant Om. The light within me honors and respects the light within you. Namaste.